All right, we're talking about the Xfinity Series at Homestead. This is going to be a good race to watch and a good practice session to behold because we will have go homers. This is a pretty big field. Last weekend, for those of you that didn't know or didn't pay attention, I only did one line. I did not play a lot last weekend because I thought people, and very similar to how I want to approach the Cup Series, the way I approach Las Vegas is the same way I want to approach Homestead. Now, I thought that people would just lock in Haley Deegan. I'm completely baffled that 20% played her. I honestly thought she'd be like a 65-70% on play because there was just no way she wouldn't be optimal. And if she wrecked, she wasn't killing your line. I was completely floored by that. But in terms of the guys up top, Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs. Noah Gragson is the best driver in the Xfinity Series right now. He is the best driver in this series when it comes to running a high wear track. He is the best driver when it comes to running by the wall and taking care of his car. And he won this race last time we were here, okay? No, he didn't. This is the race where David Starr blew a tire and flew up into him last year. Very unfortunate. I'm going to do the same thing I did last year and play a shitload of Noah Gragson, all right? When we look at how Gragson has performed at this racetrack, I'm taking that. Look, Noah Gragson won last year at Homestead. Changed my mind, okay? So Noah Gragson has never finished outside the top 5 at Homestead in the Xfinity Series. That's just how it is, okay? If David Starr doesn't blow a tire, we have Noah Gragson might even be more expensive at Homestead, okay? And these are back when Noah Gragson was not as good of a driver as he is now, and this was in fields that were much deeper and much stronger than what he is in now. Okay, 11-3, I'm playing Noah Gragson like there is no tomorrow. Okay, Ty Gibbs going to be a strong second. I think when we look at Las Vegas, it is a situation where it is very similar to this week. Okay, who's the next guy that kind of jumps off the board? It's going to be Josh Berry. Okay, and we can use Josh Berry or Justin Allgaier. It's going to be your choice between these two guys. But it's the top 4 drivers, and it's not even close. It's Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, Justin Allgaier, and Josh Berry. I think you need 3 of those drivers in this race, okay? I think it's going to be very similar to last week to where it's Gragson leading sometimes. It's Gibbs up there. They're both getting fast laps. I think I'm going to play them both, and I'll mess around with Justin Allgaier and Josh Berry, or an expensive place differential play that just doesn't end up qualifying well due to a practice issue or whatever. I don't want to play AJ Allmendinger. Excuse me. I don't want to play AJ Allmendinger. Colleague is going to trim the car out, and this is a race where I don't necessarily like Colleague's approach of trimming cars out. I think they're going to struggle tremendously in traffic because you have to run the wall here, and if you get tight, you're in the wall, and you're just not. And you're not even destroying the car. You're just going to be slow. I don't want to play AJ. I don't necessarily want to chase Trevor Bayne. Okay, Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, Sam Mayer, Riley Herbst, Sheldon Creed. It's going to be, honestly, whoever can pay off the best here, okay? Like the best point per dollar play, okay? Last week, Castle got really, really screwed late in the race when he ended up, did he stay out on tires? I think he stayed out on tires. I don't necessarily remember. But Landon Castle probably should have finished a bit better than where he had ran all day. He was basically around 11th fastest all day, but Landon Castle should have finished better, but he looked like the place differential play that was going to come through. He just didn't end up coming through on that, or at least with the 5X value. I thought he would have done a little bit better, but tire strategy kind of put him in a bad situation late in the race. Anyway, long story short, Hill, Brandon Jones, Mayer, Herbst, Creed, Hemrick, Castle, going to be determined by whoever the best point per dollar play is in this range, okay? And this race will be decided, in my opinion, by the value range because we're all chasing Gragson, we're all chasing Ty Gibbs, all right? Let's kind of go through here. Sieg, going to have to see. Clement's going to have to see practice. Chandler Smith and the Sam Hunt machine, we just saw how awesome John Hunter Nemechek was. Nemechek was going to blow the slate apart till he got a speeding penalty and got trapped a lap down. Chandler Smith at $7,800. I love this play. I would prefer it over Nick Sanchez. I would prefer it over Parker Retzlaff. I would prefer it over Myatt Snyder. I prefer it over Anthony Alfredo. In my opinion, it's Chandler Smith in the 7K range by himself. I'm not going to want to touch the rest of this range. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because when we start looking at how we build lines and we start looking at how the lineups are going to want to play out, yes, you're going to end up in the 7K range a lot, but I think if you're going to approach like I am, if I can bring this stuff up eventually, if you go Gregson, Ty Gibbs, Chandler Smith, that leaves you $6,600 left over, and we have a ton of plays that in the 5K range and the 4K range that can work out. I don't think you even need to play anybody else in the 7K range. It's Chandler Smith or you avoid the 7K range in general. That's just how I view it. Another thing is that we have some pretty small contests this weekend. A little disappointing. I personally really enjoy the double headers for Truck and Xfinity. I love the fact that they practice and qualify on Friday. I love the fact that we have the 2 races on Saturday. I just wish we get bigger contests. At least thank the Lord Trucks is like 3,500. I remember when it was like 3,100 or even smaller earlier in the year. So, I mean, at least there's that. But I wish these contests were a bit bigger. So when we're looking at the rest of the field, let me start moving these guys over here. We're going to be looking at how fast they've been at the intermediate. And I honestly think Las Vegas is a fantastic place to look at, to be honest. It's going to race very similar to Las Vegas. You can't fake speed at Homestead. You can't fake speed at Las Vegas. If you had speed at Las Vegas, you're going to probably have the same type of speed here, okay? So, not playing Jeb. Actually, I'm too far up. Probably won't get to Alfredo. Probably not going to do Alex LeBay. Kyle Weatherman, if he can show us place differential, I'll play him. If not, I don't see him finishing any better than where he was running all day at Las Vegas. He ends up finishing 14th, had the 19th best car. I think it's that situation there. And it's really, really interesting. When you look at where these guys were in terms of where they were in speed and where they finished, it's literally a mirror image. Jeb Burton, 20th best car at Vegas, finished 17th. Parsons, 22nd best car at Las Vegas, finished 23rd. Kyle Sieg, 27th best car at Las Vegas, finished 26th. Okay, so I would trust the speed that these guys are bringing to Homestead to be very, very similar to Las Vegas. And so it makes it, at least in my opinion, it makes it easy to project them because you just take where they're starting. And I'm going to take really the speed that they had at Las Vegas and project and do that. I think Timmy Hill is going to run better. I think Timmy Hill is actually going to have a really good car. I'm looking forward to that. We'll see if it gets backed up in practice. But it's the Ford typically whenever they run the Toyotas or the Chevys. I mean, the Chevys, they have been running ECR engines, but they've been running Toyotas recently. They have the Ford back this weekend. That's their best aero car. I like Timmy Hill in this race. I think he's going to qualify in. I think he's going to actually be able to compete for like a 22nd, 21st on Sunday or on Saturday. But we will confirm that in practice. I'm not playing Chris Wright. JJ Yaley, I want to see what he has in practice. It seems like MEM is bringing quite a lot of money into this race. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if it's paying out more than usual. I know the Pearce is like right around $3 million for the Xfinity Series for this race. It might be a bit smaller. I know Trucks is right at $700,000. I forgot what Xfinity was. I don't think it's paying out more than usual, but it seems like NBM is going to bring more money than usual behind this type of stuff. I want to see. So when we get to Bailey Curry, David Starr, we need to see speed in practice. Otherwise, they are going to get stuck running in the 30s. Okay, this is going to be a race where we have and I'm talking like a very, very small pool because there's a lot of people who are not going to pay off in this race with value or anything like that. Okay, when we get to Josh Williams and Mason Massey, these guys are probably going to start in the 30s. I find it very hard and very difficult to imagine a situation where these guys finish higher than like mid-20s. It hurts that. Patrick either is going to DNQ or probably going to start like 38th, 37th. Needs 25 points to pay it off. This is a situation where I would honestly start to look at the 4K range because the 5K range outside of Timmy Hill, outside of JJ Yaley, and outside of Bailey Curry and Starr, depending on what they can bring, and Graf, really unappealing. BJ is going to be in his own BJ is going to be in his own car here. I like it. I know BJ is not going to tear stuff up. I'm fine with that. I would trust him a lot more than Julia, despite the fact that Julia is going to be in the Tommy Joe Martin's car. Let's see where she qualifies, okay? Let's see what she's doing in terms of speed, because she can very easily fail. This is not like a Hailie Deegan, okay? People want to shit on Hailie Deegan all the time, and I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would actually pay attention to the situations she's been in, because nearly almost all the wrecks she's been in this year, not her fault. Bad things that have happened, not her fault. Car catches on fire, not her fault. Tires go down, not her fault. Like, Hailie Deegan knows how to drive, okay? I cannot say that about Julia. This is not an identical play to Hailie Deegan last weekend, where I'm gonna absolutely scrutinize Julia under a microscope with the practice speeds to see if she can actually pay it off. Matt Mills probably won't do it. Dylan Bassett probably going to start. Dylan, so I think the two D&Qs are probably going to be Patrick and Poole, but we can see Dylan Bassett not going to play. They have not shown the speed this year, as I thought they would after working on this car for like 7 years. They're just not showing the speed. So down here in the 4K range, Julia, BJ, Patrick, probably the only guys I want to focus on the 4K range. When we get to the 5K, Graf, Starr, Bailey, JJ, Timmy Hill, and that's really it. I would rather focus on trying to get 3 10K guys in my line, or getting like a Chandler Smith in the line. I think the pool is probably going to be Gregson, Ty Gibbs, Allgaier, Barry. Probably one of the 9K guys, whoever offers the most place differential place differential points. Chandler Smith, skip in the 7K range, probably skip in the 6K range. Hill, Yaley, Curry, Starr, maybe even Williams, Patrick, BJ, and Julia. I think that's the pool, man. I think the pool's like 14 guys in this race. I think this is a race where I want to do a lot of lines with that small amount, with that small pool, and chase that contest with like 5,000 people in it, and try and build the same line as many times as I can. So that's how I want to approach the Xfinity Series race. Thank you guys for listening. Maybe this helps you out, and I'll see you guys in live show on Saturday to talk about this in more detail.